Hey, everybody. Welcome to Wednesday. No, I will not be talking about the election. Hopefully, the result. I don't know. I'm pre-taping this because this is gaming channel. We may adjacently touch on politics, but it's issues based. Not like, no. I did it back in 2016. I will never do it again. I did it as I want to put a marker in the ground because I can kind of see what could potentially be coming here. So sometimes you got to stake your claim. So when shit comes down later, you can go, documented, flagpole planted right here. Get the fuck away with I just made this stuff up now. So we're going to be talking today about this god-awful one-up movie. And okay, I haven't seen it. I don't know, but my whole take on this, too long didn't read, is who is this movie for? Okay? Who's this movie for? Is it for men? Is it for women? Is it for neither men nor women? Hear me out. But if you like this sort of content, help support this channel, become a monthly patron, patreon.com/LeannaK. Now, my guess is that this movie was supposed to be some sort of big girl power exercise. But if that's the case, whoo, lordy, did they miss the mark? Okay. The first mark that this is probably for women is that Ellen Page is starring in that. That's usually a marker that it's some sort of hashtag feminist thing. Not to be confused with real, actual feminism. But so we have Ellen Page and a girl who's best known, she's very pretty, but she's best known for something I'd never heard of. Paris Belrek, Barrack? How do you pronounce that name? It's right here. Barelk. Okay, Barelk. Okay, apologies for not being able to pronounce that name. People can't pronounce my name, but here it is. Barelk will play a gamer who quits her college esports team due to sexism from her male counterparts in the first feature film for BuzzFeed Studios entitled One Up. Okay, first problem here. One Up for esports? Probably more on that in a bit. Portray a gamer who quits her college esports team due to sexism from her male counterparts to keep her scholarship. What the fuck school is offering an esports scholarship? Can someone please tell me? Hook a sister up? Like, who? But esports scholarship? Really? Really? Maybe this is something I'm not aware of. This already is stretch. Like, the point is not whether or not they exist, right? The point is whether people are aware of their existence. And people are like, okay, a golf scholarship, maybe, but an esports scholarship? People normally have to defer school to play esports because you're spending all your... Anyway, okay. To keep her scholarship, she's forced to assemble an all-female team and enlist the help of a coach portrayed by Paige, who has a gaming scandal in her past. Now, this gaming scandal is allegedly similar to the sexualized rumors that happened during Gamergate, and that's what's got everybody going, and I think that's pretty much it. Like, the most honest way to respond to this whole concept is with a series of noises that sounds like a cartoon engine breaking, right? Like, that's the reaction, right? This is a terrible idea. A terrible idea. This seems like BuzzFeed Studios trying to kind of harness the culture war to get cheap attention for its original film. Maybe the script is secretly great because Ellen Page is on board with it. Maybe her friend wrote it and that's why she's on board with it. I don't know. I don't know why Ellen Page would connect herself to such a thing, considering Ellen Page has been in a video game. She was in Beyond Two Souls. Maybe the bad reaction to that game put her off. I don't know. But maybe it's a great script and we just don't know it. But let's real talk here, okay? This is not going to be something that appeals to men. Because of the whole forced to form an all-female esports team element. Not prominently female, predominantly female. A couple of good dudes who don't like the sexual harassment either. No, gotta be all female. Gotta be forced, right? That's gonna put people off. Now, maybe that's an inaccurate description of the script. I don't know. But personally, I think it would be funnier if, like, to see the one guy who's like, no, I'm not cool with this either. I'm gonna come with you, and then all the shit he takes for trying to be supportive, right? Like, that's another angle to milk for comedy, because it's comedy. It's a comedy, but no men allowed. Right? Then you get into the sexual harassment ain't funny. Trying to milk it for laughs still ain't funny. No woman wants to go to a comedy that is basically on, oh, she has to fight to keep her scholarship because she was sexually harassed out of the school. People don't want that. People don't want that. People want the problems solved. Thank you very much. So we don't have to deal with this shit anymore. Everybody, we want these problems fucking solved. Okay, except for a tiny minority who profits on the problems continuing. But you know what I'm saying. The vast majority of people. And then you get into, so women are not going to want to see a movie that it's, oh, ain't sexual harassment funny, right? Like, I thought that was even a sour note on The Good Place, a show that, even though I have issues with the concept, the dialogue was legitimately funny, but it started to lose it when more and more of the comedy was based on sexual harassment. And every time this one demon character named Trevor showed up and started sexually harassing the Kristen Bell character, I just wanted to turn it off. Because there's a bystander effect where when we see women suffering through that, we feel bad. Even if it's not us that are on the receiving end of it, okay? You know that you guys would probably relate to this. You know when you feel someone being bullied? You see someone being bullied and you identify with that person who's being bullied and the reasons they're being bullied. And so the mirror neurons start going in your brain and you start feeling what they're probably feeling, right? Which is why this is a bad idea. Like, it would have been much funnier if she's this awesome esports player who is now going to college with the money she earned from esports. And she's a bit clued out because she's been in the esports world, which means you're totally pretty much cut off from the world. And so, all right, she's going to go and she's going to do girl power. She's going to start this all-female esports team. Hilarity ensues, right? Because you get the argument of, well, if guys didn't let women onto their esports team, that would be considered sexist. So shouldn't you let the one guy in that wants to play? Well, that's not the point. Yeah. But, I mean, wouldn't schools, if you're getting a scholarship, don't you have to have a female version of the sport because of Title IX? Like, doesn't this whole concept just kind of fall apart? Someone help me out here, please. I'm not American. I don't know the ins and outs of this thing. But if it is a sport and there are scholarships offered, don't you need a female program? Isn't that how it goes? Like, let me know. I don't know. I just know Title IX requires it. But this whole thing is, see what I mean? It's strange. Right? Like, brain breaking. But it would be a funnier concept. Okay, so they let the one guy on the team, right? And then you've got the whole issue of realistically esports you're probably going to have a few trans women on the team. And the minute you do that, you've lost with the PC police. Unfortunately, you get screamed at for not including trans women, but you get screamed at more for trying to include trans women, and doing it in a way that offends I still haven't come up with a good name, but I will not refer to them as trans activists. They're not. I know legitimate trans activists. They do not attack people the way these people do. But that might be kind of funny, played for laughs, that these, trans people take nothing but shit and get into the whole kind of thing of inclusion can be actually difficult. But I mean, there's plenty of trans actors who would probably be great for that. And, you could have like trans women on the team, and then you have like a trans man on the team as well, because he heard another guy joined. And so you end up getting a not all female esports team. You end up getting a team. And that, I think I would watch that more. I think other people would watch that for. Let's face it, that's not how BuzzFeed thinks. And part of the reason I have so little trust that this will actually be affirming and good is because it's BuzzFeed, right? If it was like Tina Fey and Kristen Wiig, I'd give it a chance, but it's BuzzFeed, and I'm not going to get into the personal lives of the people attached, right? Apparently, there's an abuse allegation against the director. I dealt with that enough yesterday, but which is still today because I'm pre-recording, right? I don't want to record on the day of the U.S. election. It's just gonna be too eat my arm off, right? But this is just a bad idea. And it just shows how not connected. And BuzzFeed should know better because they're an online entity, but it just shows just because you're a predominantly online company doesn't mean you understand gaming, because gaming prefers a story of someone who just wants to do something because it seems cool, and it ends up being kind of a terrible bad idea, and they stumble through it anyway and then kind of win at the end, because that's more like a D&D campaign, as opposed to like, oh look, it's The Handmaid's Tale with esports, which it probably won't be that. That's an exaggeration, but you know what I mean? Like the minute you start going, oh, she was sexually harassed out of an esports team, all the questions start. Like you guys saw where my brain went, and that's a mistake with comedy. When you have somebody constantly going, why did that happen? Why did that happen? I'm lost. What? They can't laugh at the jokes, right? Until they hit a point where it's just turn your brain off. Don't think too hard. Laugh at the funny, which is why comedy concepts tend to be quite simple. But, that's where we're at. Does anybody think this is a good idea? I know some people who said they were planning to watch it because they expect it to be a hot mess, hilarious train wreck. But I still feel like I did my time with Cuties. Cuties didn't cost me anything to see because it was Netflix. Maybe if it's free, I'll watch it to review it. But I kind of like Ellen Page. And I don't want to see her in these things. You ever like, okay, I like this person, but this movie is probably going to be really bad. And like all the movies I watch because Carl Urban was in it and I really like Carl Urban, and they end up being very bad movies. And then he was in Judge Dredd, and it's like, yeah. But enough. Does anybody have a counterpoint to this? Does anybody think this is even remotely a good idea? Please let me know. I'm very, very curious. Or you can just agree with me and think it's an awful idea. Whatever. As long as it's not election talk. Help support this channel. Become a monthly patron. Patreon.com/LeannaK. Thanks for watching.